All right. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Beata. So today's been a little bit of a wild day. Um, First off, let me know if you can see me and hear me in the comments, because that will be helpful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to Facebook. I am streaming through my website. And so let me tell you a little bit about my wild day today. So after doing the mom, morning rush this morning, I had a rescheduled appointment and I said, you know what, today would be the fantastic day to do a masterclass. And I was like so in flow with this. And I'm like, let me go ahead and set it all up. Let me get it going. So I did. And I went on and did the best masterclass I have ever done. And guess what? The entire time I was muted. Always a fantastic opportunity to laugh at myself. So I give you permission to laugh as well. So what I'm doing now is I'm checking to see if you can hear me and see me. I usually stream through my website, so I don't see the comments. So what I'm going to be doing is making sure that I check back on Facebook and that I see what the comments are. So I'm going to do my best to do that. Actually, let me drop in the comments as well. So for those who may not be able to stay for the whole thing, you can get the replay of this plus resources. So let me drop that in the comments. And resources. Yeah, so that was my wild morning. So I'd love to hear about your mornings. How have they been? How's your Friday going? And also, if you are watching live, just go ahead and do hashtag live. Let us know where you're watching from. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and do hashtag replay. And same thing, let us know where you're watching from. What's going on with your day today? And yeah, I bet you did not have as wild of a morning as I did. And I honestly believe it's all divine timing. So someone was meant to hear this message this afternoon and not this morning. That's all. So I had a great trial run doing the masterclass this first time this morning, and now I get to do the even better presentation now this afternoon. So it all works out. And let me grab. All right, cool. So it looks like you can see me and you can hear me, which is awesome. Let me just make sure I'm back on the right page here. All right, and so the reason why I was so motivated to do this masterclass today was because of all the people that I've recently connected with and spoken with. And there's just this common theme that keeps coming through, that people have, again, these health goals, these health aspirations, or like they just feel stuck in their health. They've been dealing with something for a while and it just hasn't improved. Have you been there, or have you felt that way? All right. And so it's been a common theme, and with all sorts of things. Recently, I just worked with someone with neck pain, with weight loss, with cholesterol levels, with digestive symptoms, with autoimmunity, with picky eating and tantrums in kids. The list goes on and on, with eczema, with low ferritin levels, with I'm trying to think of Crohn's disease. Like there's so many ways things present in ourselves, and they're just different symptoms, but the root causes are the same. And I'll go more in depth in that later. But ultimately, right, that was what motivated me, all these conversations. And the question I have for you is, do you feel stuck with your health? And, it can be that feeling that, where maybe there's nothing technically wrong, right? You don't have a diagnosis or anything like that, but you just don't feel great. and you want maybe to eat healthier, or maybe you want to work out more, or maybe you want to lose more weight, you want to sleep better, or you just want to have more energy, right? But no matter what you try, it never sticks. So maybe you've tried something and then it only lasts a couple days or a couple weeks, and then you're back at, the drawing board going, oh, it didn't work, I don't know what to do next. Say me in the chat if that's you. We're going to make this interactive. The more interactive it is, you're going to actually be able to retain more, and you're actually going to help people in the community. So when people see your comments, they're going to see your aha moments and your insights. So throughout this presentation, whenever you get an aha, just put aha, and just that is fine, because timestamps will come up, or you could put aha and what you got, what was your insight that came through for you. And so by taking part in this course and being interactive, you're going to retain more, you're going to get more benefit out of it. More people in the community are going to help. You're going to be able to help people in the community, and it's going to get this out into the algorithm for more people to see it as well. So please do interact. It is beneficial for everyone. So, right. So you don't necessarily have to have anything diagnosed, right? But maybe you do have a diagnosis, or you haven't had anything technically officially diagnosed, but you just feel like something's off. And this can be, with your digestion being all over the place, or maybe your skin is breaking out, or maybe you've just been in pain or exhausted or anxious, or foggy brained, you can't think clearly. Or the other place where we see this often is maybe you see it in your kids, right? So maybe they're picky eaters, or maybe they're having big tantrums all the time. Or one that I often see is constipation. Constipation in kids is so big. Or maybe they have food sensitivities or food allergies, right? Put me in the comments if any of this resonates with you, okay? And I'm just going to jump over to Facebook again, just to make sure that things are going good there. All right. I think my volume's working again. You can hear me, you can see me, which is good. All right, cool. So, right. So this can be, you can be on any part of the spectrum, diagnosed, not undiagnosed, nothing big going on. It could be your kids, it could be your family, right? And so with all of this, I see you because I was you. And I can tell you this, the way that most of us, right, are taught to approach health, it's incomplete. And it's why so many of us have been stuck in cycles of frustration and confusion and trial and error. And have you been there? Have you felt that? Right? And so, can I tell you a story about my early phase of my life that changed everything? Is that okay if I share it with you? And before I do that, I do want to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Beata, and I'm a holistic and integrative doctor. And I specialize in the root causes. So, working with the actual root causes that present themselves in many different signs and symptoms, but we focus on gut health, which also includes nutrition, right? Holistic nourishment and integrative detoxification. And then there's emotional energetics. So that includes nervous system regulation and decoding your body as well. So that is my specialty. And I help people, families with all sorts of conditions, like I mentioned earlier. And so when I think back to my childhood, right, and my early years, I used to think that I was a pretty normal, healthy kid growing up, okay? But when I now, knowing what I know, and I look back and I think back, as a kid, I actually had a lot of signs and symptoms. And as I go through this, you may resonate with some of this as well. So as a kid, I was constantly sick. I always had a cold or something going on. I also had a lot of digestive conditions happening. So I had, all the things. I'm not going to go into detail right now, but I go into more detail on the Gut Health and Digestion Masterclass. That's also free. If you'd like to get that, go ahead and just put gut health in the comments. But I had a lot of digestive conditions. I had really, really painful periods. As a teenager, I had a lot of anxiety. And through those teen years, I actually started gaining a lot of weight. And I also had asthma. I was using an inhaler. I was, using medication for pain, for digestive symptoms. I was popping Tums, all these things, right? So that's where I was coming from. And, you know, ultimately, like I thought I was eating pretty good, right? My parents had this big garden. If you're Polish, go ahead and put PL in the comments. If you know many Polish families, like we're all about gardening, and they grew a lot of their food, and my mom would home cook all our meals, or almost all of them. I was a kid and I was playing and exercising, and I thought I was doing okay, but I really wasn't. And things, through those teen years, especially with the weight gain, with all these digestive symptoms, I had horrible bloating all the time. Like it affected a lot. It wasn't just my physical body, but it affected me emotionally, right? It affected the whole, like dating thing in those teenage years, going into college and all that. It affected my ability to have energy. Like I played on the basketball team. I didn't make it junior year, which is all good. I'm 5'2". I was not meant to be a basketball star. But it's like all these things that affected a lot without me realizing it. Energy levels were low. And I actually even remember going to my our family like PCP, and I must have been like 16 or 17 at the time, because I was able to take myself there by myself. So I remember being like, no, I'm going to drive to the doctor all by myself because I'm a 16 or 17-year-old, got my license, whatever. And I remember going to the doctor and like just being like, I am so exhausted. I'm so tired all the time. I was actually getting decent sleep, even though I was in high school, because my parents had a very strict, thing schedule and all that. And so I'm like, I'm getting sleep, but I'm just so tired all the time. And, he listened, he asked a couple questions, and he just said, you're a teenager, you're tired. Don't worry about it. Little did I know that that was brewing, like that was going to develop into something bigger going on later in my life, but I didn't know it at the time. I was just, all right, the doctor thinks it's not a big deal, whatever, it's going to be fine. Right. And then fast forward, I'm in college, and I'm getting my nutrition degree. I'm taking all the classes and getting all the prereqs ready for PT school, and I'm getting my psychology degree. And so I'm learning bits and pieces, right? So I am on all these crazy diets because I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm working out for hours and hours at the gym every week. And like I was a total gym rat. And I went to UConn, go Huskies. So I mean, if you know me from that phase of my life, like I was working at the gym as well, and then I would work out at the gym. So I would be there like 40 hours a week in between classes and all the things, right? And so it's like I was trying these different things. Now, the cool thing is that something did work. I did get a difference there, because what happened is during those teen years, I mentioned I had asthma and I was using an inhaler. Well, when I started learning about exercise and like fitness, I said, I'm going to become a runner. And like totally different from my teen years. And I was like, I'm going to work out and I'm going to become a runner. And so all of a sudden I started training and I started utilizing some of the things I learned. And you know what? I actually reversed my asthma. And so I got rid of the inhaler. I have not used it since. I haven't had any asthma symptoms since. And that was when I was like 18, so almost 20 years ago. Like I literally healed my asthma at that point. And so that was cool because that was working. But you know what wasn't working is I was still super bloated. I still wasn't able to lose weight. And I had just a lot of inflammation in my body. But again, I didn't understand what it was all doing, right? What it was all. And then, this continued on through adulthood. So I got my PT degree. I got my doctorate. I continued on to residency, fellowship, all the things, right? And I was doing my own holistic studies on the side, right? And throughout this time, I kept getting little tidbits, right? And so even I'll add this in. I little known fact about me, I was actually in a beauty pageant. So it's called Miss Polonia, which is like people who are of Polish heritage. And so it was in Connecticut, so it wasn't anything huge, but during this journey, I had started losing some weight. My digestion still wasn't perfect, but I was starting to like gain some traction on it. Well, I won't tell you the full story. That's in the gut health and digestion masterclass. I'll be doing a little masterclass aspect of that live in a couple of weeks. So if you'd like to join that and get the original digestion and gut health masterclass, just put gut health in the comments. I'll get you that. But essentially, I won't go into too many details now, but I ruined my gut health that day, the day of the pageant. And I got so bloated. And so here I am supposed to be, you know, in these evening gowns and in a bikini on stage. And the bloating got so bad that I was trying to suck it in so hard. And it really wasn't helping. Have you ever been there before? And, you know, it was embarrassing because my mom tells it like it is. And she goes, "Oh, your stomach looked really big when you were up there." Thanks, Mom. And so from there on, my digestion declined rapidly. And I had all sorts of symptoms. And again, I was trying to use like holistic methods to heal them, and it wasn't quite working. And all this stuff was happening, right? But what was happening is that I wasn't really addressing the root causes. So all those symptoms I had, like my digestion being messed up, my bloating, the painful periods, the fatigue, all this stuff, right? These were the symptoms. I was using really band-aid solutions at the time. So I told you I was taking pain pills, I was taking Tums, like I was using things that weren't actually making a difference. Like I saw temporary relief, but I wasn't getting resolution. And it wasn't until years later, and now what I teach with the Radiant Health Protocol is where we address the root causes and we actually deal with the reasons why we're having the symptoms. There's a big difference there. And when we do that, then we get resolution of symptoms. And so that's where I'm at now. And that's why I'm teaching this and helping as many people as I can with this process that works. So, right, that was my story. And so when I got to that point, especially, you know, and again, this happened until literally my daughter was born. This was the majority of my adult years. I was really just using these surface level solutions. I wasn't getting at the root causes. And so this is the first secret that I'm going to share with you today, is that your symptoms that you're having, whatever they are, they could be skin symptoms, they could be digestive systems, they could be energy, they could be pain, you know, etc. They could be like blood work stuff, right? They could be heart stuff. They could be mental health or immune health, right? All of these symptoms are not random. Okay, put this in the comments. Your symptoms are not random. They are your body's messages. It is your body communicating with you with what's going on. It is trying to help tell you how to help yourself. And I used to think that my body was like, you know, the enemy, all these things, these symptoms, signs and symptoms, they were the enemy. But they aren't. They're your savior. They're your body communicating to you. And what the cool thing is, once you learn how to decode those messages, everything changes, because now you understand what your body's telling you. Because have you ever experienced this where, you know, you have a symptom and then it gets a little louder and then it gets a little louder and then it gets a lot louder until you cannot ignore it anymore? Have you ever had that happen? Put me in the chat if you have. So if you've had that happen, right, what happens is when it gets so loud, you try a Band-Aid solution, right? You try Band-Aid solutions, it's not touching that. You have to go to the root causes. You have to deal with where it's coming from, because the Band-Aid solutions, that's where like the medicine doesn't really work that well, or you need a medication on medication on medication, or, you know, like then you get side effects from the medications and things like that. So we have to listen to our body when it's here, ideally, when it's communicating with us through like this range, okay? And yes, we can still communicate with it and listen to it when it's here, but it can be a little bit tougher. Does that make sense? Are you with me? But when we can listen to our body when it's here and start working with it as our ally, not as the enemy, but as an ally that we can work together to heal, then everything changes. You get resolution and you do things that are aligned with you. Put a yes in the chat if this makes sense. And ultimately, many of us are taught to treat symptoms, right, like problems to be silenced, like an enemy. But what if instead of shutting them down with Band-Aid solutions, with medication, with, creams or whatever it may be, what if you listened to what your body was telling you? That's when my journey started, like my pieces of the puzzle started coming together. I was kind of listening to my body during those, again, like college years, but I just didn't have the skills and the tools yet. I was grasping at pieces. Again, I was doing some holistic studies. I was looking into herbs. I was looking into supplements. I was doing protein bars. I was doing protein shakes. I was doing workouts. And all that stuff really wasn't getting to the root. Okay. Now, when I started putting the pieces together, the real reasons, the root causes behind my chronic health struggles, then everything changed. And that's when I started integrating gut health and emotional energetics and nervous system regulation. But that came way down the line in my journey. And that's when I started integrating those aspects and I learned to support my body properly, everything changed. But there was a big period of time that happened in between that. So let's rewind a little bit, and I would love to tell you a little bit more. And is it okay if I share my story of becoming a mom with you? And for all the moms and dads and the parents and the caregivers, this is going to be really important for you to listen to, okay, and to hear. So, right, fast forward from college, a couple of years, all the stuff happens. I became a mom. And always, always in the depths of my heart, I knew that I was going to be a mom and that I wanted to be a mom with every cell in my body. I knew that. Well, again, through that adult years, like my health challenges were brewing. I was trying different diets. I was doing all this stuff, trying to help myself, right? But then my daughter came into the world and she had health challenges, a lot of health challenges. And suddenly it wasn't just my health that I was dealing with, it was my daughter's too. And, she had everything. She had digestive issues, she had colic, she had eczema, she had reflux. As she got older, she had behavioral challenges. She was a picky eater. And so we had all these symptoms that she was exhibiting, right? And we tried getting help. We went to pediatricians, we went to other practitioners, and they kept giving us this. They kept giving us just try formula, or hey, try this cream, or hey, maybe try this pill or this supplement. Now, my intuition told me otherwise because, again, long ago in high school, I was still taking the pills and, all the over-the-counter stuff and things like that. But something shifted. And obviously, I was learning a lot of holistic health through the years before becoming a mom. But every part of me, in my heart, I knew that this wasn't the answer for us, that we needed to figure this out, that we needed to look not just base level at Band-Aid solutions, we needed to look at root causes. And again, there's a big difference in that. So, I dove deep into nutrition. I dove deep into diets, especially elimination diets, right? And so for the grand context, when my daughter was a baby, we had over 40 ingredients that she was reacting to and that we strictly avoided. Now we're down to less than a handful. So it is possible to heal when we know that we're not using just Band-Aid solutions, we're using root cause approach, right? Because even elimination diets, they're not really getting at the root cause. So maybe you've tried this already, right? Put yes in the comments if you've tried this, where you've tried modifying your diet, you've tried eliminating things from your diet. Maybe again, you've tried some herbs or some holistic things. Maybe you've tried some supplements, but you're still here. Okay. But you want to be here. You want to be resolving your signs and symptoms, no matter what they may be. Okay. So this approach only gets you so far. And in this moment, right, you do anything for your kids. I knew that I had to dive deeper into holistic health. And I knew that I had to figure this out for my daughter. And at the same time, I was actually figuring out for me, but I didn't know that yet. Okay. That comes later in the story. But that's when I discovered, right, when we moved just beyond the elimination diets, secret number 2. And this is that our gut health, our stress, and our emotions are all connected and they're integrated. And this is when things started clicking. So it wasn't just about what we ate or what we didn't eat, right? It was about how our bodies were able to digest and take in that nourishment. It was about how our bodies processed stress. It was about how our nervous systems responded to stress or to whatever's going on in our environment. And how unhealed emotions and the energies of those emotions showed up, not just emotionally and mentally, but physically. They manifest as physical signs and symptoms as well. So once I addressed the root of these issues, my daughter's symptoms disappeared. Her eczema went away. Again, we healed so many of her food allergies. Her reflux went away. When we deal with root causes, things resolve. Now, put change in the chat if you are ready for this kind of transformation. If you are ready for your symptoms, whatever they may be, to resolve. Go ahead and put change in the comments. Now, I mentioned earlier again that my symptoms started improving in this as well. And my story is a little different, right? So I helped my daughter, right? And through the process, I started taking care of myself again with gut health and with more of the physical stuff. But I still ultimately wasn't taking care of me. Because you see, I'm a helper. That's my personality. That's who I am. And I was pouring into everyone else. I was pouring into my daughter, family. I started my business at that time, which I call my second baby. So I was pouring into work and helping other moms start healing their babies. I started with, breastfeeding moms and their babies because that's like what I literally just went through with my daughter. And I was so passionate about that. I was pouring into, work responsibilities, but home responsibilities, while at the same time, my own health and energy were actually running on empty. I realized that I wasn't actually taking care of me. Put a me in the comments if you have ever felt that or if you've ever been there. So the secret number 3 that I'm going to share with you is that true wellness means designing your life and your health around your needs and in alignment with your body. So working with your body as your ally, not the enemy. Okay. And so what happened was this revelation came through and I realized that I needed to give myself permission to heal. I needed to create a system, a sustainable way to maintain my health, not just for a season, right? But for life. Because how many of you have been like, I'm going to do this diet for a month, or I'm going to, do this cleanse for a week. But then everything just gets back to the same old afterwards. Have you been there? I have as well. Put a me in the chat if that's you. So that's when I knew that I needed to create a bridge, right? I needed to create a way for me to still obviously like take care of my daughter and do all the things, but I also needed to take care of me. And funny story, not funny, but interesting story is that all of this came through for me on a trip to Florida to visit my friend Jenna. And I was in Hollywood Beach, for those who are familiar with the area, because my friend lived in Fort Lauderdale. So she was there. And I didn't want to stay in Miami because that is not my scene anymore. Miami, like the party scene, I did my partying years back in college, not me in this phase of life. And Fort Lauderdale was cool, but I saw Hollywood and it's like where all the retirees go. And as funny as that is, I was like, yeah, that's like my jam right there. Put me in the comments if that's you too. Where I was like, you know what? I just want like a chill place where I can like go on the beach and journal and like relax and go in the water because it was so beautiful and warm at the time, right? And like just really get my thoughts together. And like my friend was working at the time, so I had, you know, the days to like hang out and do my own thing. And so then it clicked that I had a lot of clients who like were ready for change. They were ready to transform their health. They invested, like they're ready to go. I give them the tools, I give them the resources, I give them the support. And like some of them did fantastic, and some of them kind of like fizzled out. You know what I mean? Like where you start something, you're so gung-ho about something, you're like all in, I'm doing this diet, I'm changing my life. Like a lot of that happens with New Year's resolutions, right? Where we're like, new year, new me, I'm going all in. And then it's a couple weeks into the year, and we're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to be going to the gym, or oh yeah, I was supposed to stay away from the snacks, or you know, whatever it was. And you know, I saw that in my clients too, and I saw that in me in certain aspects of my life, and especially when I was younger too. And I was like, what is it? What is it that makes that difference? What is it that creates people who succeed, who stay with it, who literally transform their health for a lifetime? And you know, I did programs before. I did like manifestation stuff and vision boards and like all the things, but something was missing. Something wasn't quite clicking. And so on that beach in Florida, I was sitting there, and it just came to me, this process that I now call wellness by design. And this process literally guides you through a shift in your identity. This is on an emotional, energetic level and a physical level. You're literally like rewiring your brain and your biology at the same time. And what happens through this process is you shift your identity into like, now I am a healthy and fit woman, period. Like there's no deviation off of that. Like that is who I am. That is who I embody. That is who I am in all aspects of my life. I am a healthy and fit woman, period. And when that happens, everything aligns. Like the resources, the tools, the diets, the protocols, whatever that may be, like it makes sense now. And the things that work with your body align with you. And it doesn't become like a choice, it's just what you do. And when that happens, it becomes effortless, it becomes easeful. And I say this because now, again, like even up to my daughter's birth, like and after her birth, like I was still like my weight was still going back and forth. I still had digestive symptoms, whereas now I maintain my natural healthy weight without counting calories, without counting macros and looking at like all these calculated things. I eat intuitively. I know what fuels my body, what makes me feel good. I know what resonates with my body. How many of you want that where it just comes natural to you? Put me in the chat. Put me in the chat if you want to be at this place in your health journey where it doesn't feel hard, where it's easy. Put me in the chat. Is this resonating with you, right? Are you getting this? And so when this happens, you effortlessly transform your health. Now, this isn't just your health, because your health affects all aspects of life. So this affects, right, your physical body, but your mental states, right? So your concentration, your energy levels. So again, this trickles out into your work and your business and your career, how you show up on stage if you're doing live presentations, or, at your boardroom meetings, or whatever it may be. This may also be, how you show up as a parent. Put me in the chat if you're a parent. And there are lots of challenges with raising little ones. And, as a single mom, like, there's even more. So for the single parents, right, watching, go ahead and put me in the chat. And all of these aspects come together because when you are in optimal health, you can be a different parent on, again, mental, emotional, and physical levels. You can respond to your kids' tantrums. You can help them eat healthier when you know how to eat healthier yourself too. You can be the parent, like me, running through the tunnels at Billy B's and going down all the fun slides. If you've ever been there, you know how much of a workout that is. Or maybe you're the parent at the trampoline park jumping along with your kids, right? Like, is that how you want to show up in your family dynamics, right? Or, do you want to be kind of the disconnected parent who's, sitting on the sidelines? And again, we're all in different parts of our journey. So wherever you are, great. And if you want to show up in this way for your business, for your kids, for your partner, right? This affects relationships, how we relate to each other. Love relationships, friend relationships, social relationships. Like, this affects all areas of life. It affects your finances too. Like, everything is impacted by your health. Does that make sense to you? Put yes in the comments if it does. And so what I did when I discovered this Wellness by Design process, I started doing little mini retreats with it because I knew this was revolutionary and I had to get it out to people. I had to spread the words. I had to get people to experience this. And I did. And it was amazing because literally the first session, the mini retreat session, we go through a process that if you're engaged and you're participating, you are not leaving the same person. You will literally shift your identity energetically. And again, even on a physical level, because we are rewiring and retraining your brain and biology through this process. And after that first session, the shifts are amazing. Now, the challenge is, right, that's kind of like the bridge to get you where you want to be. Without handrails, though, right, some of us fall off the bridge. And so what ends up happening is some of us kind of take a little misstep and we're hanging off the bridge. And then some of us just veer off that bridge right away. And we are still shifted, but handrails make us successful. Are you getting that? Put a me in the comments if that makes sense to you. So what I did is I created the Wellness by Design program. And again, I've done different variations of this. And the cool thing is, even if you've done Wellness by Design before, go ahead and put Wellness by Design alumni in the comments. If that's you, feel free to share some of your experience with it, right? It's a really powerful shift. The feedback I get is absolutely phenomenal from the Wellness by Design process. And when we have a system, we have accountability, we have resources, we have protocols, we have one-on-one coaching. You get a one-on-one call with me included in now the package that is the Wellness by Design program. That is when you have your handrails. It keeps you on the bridge. And not only that, it guides you to your destination, the beach or the island or wherever you like to vacation, right? That's where we want to get. We want to get there with our health. And when we get there, we stay on the path because we have the guardrails in place. Put me in the comments if that is making sense to you, right? And that may be, I wasn't planning on putting a secret 4 in here, but let's do secret 4. That may be the difference that you need to continue on your health journey and to keep being successful and to not keep falling off the bridge. Because again, I talk with so many people that, again, try a diet, they do it for a couple days or a couple weeks, and then they fall off the path, right? And then they try it again and they fall off the path. And then they get frustrated and they lose hope, right? They're in this sense of despair that I can never do this. I can't do this and I can't succeed. Have you been there before? Put me in the comments if you have. We're going to do an X, a big X over that. We are getting rid of that belief. You are capable. You are deserving and you are worthy of improving your health. No matter in what way you're doing it, you are. And again, this is an example that is often used and may help get this point across, right? So let's say there's two different people, and I don't smoke, but I'm going to use this as an example, is that if I was giving someone a cigarette and I said, hey, do you want a cigarette? And person one says, no, I'm trying to quit. Versus I give person two a cigarette and I say, hey, do you want a cigarette? And they go, no, I'm not a smoker. Can you feel the energetic difference with that, right? Can you feel that energy? Oh, no, I'm trying to quit versus no, I'm not a smoker, right? So that's what we need to do with your health journey, but your health story in your head, where it's not like, oh, I'm trying this diet, or yeah, I'm going to go to the gym for a couple weeks, or I'm going to do, this for a few months or whatever. No, it's, I am a healthy and fit man or woman, or no, I am a energetic person, right? I am an energetic woman. I get up ready to start the day. So can you feel that difference? This is what we're doing in this process, where there's no like ifs, ands, or buts. The person who says, no, I'm not a smoker, they're not going to be like, oh, well, yeah, let me try that cigarette. No, they're going to be like, no, thanks. I'm not a smoker. No, right? You naturally align with what is for your highest and greatest good. What's going to get you there in your health and your overall life? Put a me in the comments if you get this. Are you getting this? Okay. So the Wellness by Design program is the bridge and the guardrails, right? It's getting you there so you don't feel like you're lost or overwhelmed or alone or confused. It keeps you on the path. Now, I've done this program multiple times now. And the cool thing is we do it multiple times throughout the year. And each time you get to it, you have a different experience because you are in a different place in your life. And it is designed specifically to allow what needs to come up for you to come up. And what happens is that based on that, you then, with the Wellness by Design program, start creating your plan, creating your action steps, because we can think of all the things, but unless we start acting on them, it's just a thought. So we're putting this into reality. We are bringing this into your reality. And this version that I'm doing this time is called Your Health Revolution, because this is the highest level of this program that I've ever created. And I'm so excited to launch this. And I have an announcement to make as well. Some of you may have seen the poster, the email, but this is actually the last time I'm going through the whole Wellness by Design program live. And it was kind of an unexpected, message I got from the universe. But what I'm going to be doing in the future is kind of a hybrid version. I still need to figure out all the details, but probably the first session will be live, and then you'll get the self-paced program or course or something like that afterwards. I'm not sure if I'm going to include the guidance call or not. But right now, when you sign up for the Wellness by Design program, Your Health Revolution, you get the full live experience. So that means you get me coaching you through this live, you get your questions answered, you get troubleshooting, you get the one-on-one call with me, and you get all the protocols, all the resources, the community support in a live setting. That is invaluable. Again, those are the guardrails. That's where we're going to get your success. So that is why I created this. And even when it's a hybrid program, it's still going to be very, very effective and amazing, like an amazing experience. But when you go through the full thing live, there's just nothing like that. If you've participated live and you're watching, go ahead, let them know how it is, because it's really powerful. I hear, testimonials from people all the time, and it's amazing how really it becomes effortless for so many people. So type revolution in the chat if you're ready to step into this whole new way of living and being and breathing. Okay, put revolution in the chat if you are ready for this transformation, because this is what makes the difference. This is what changes you from being like, oh, I'm going to dibble and dabble in this diet, or I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try that. A couple weeks later, you're totally back to what you were doing before, right? This is what gets you moving. This is what changes your life. This is what changes your health. This is what changes your family's health. This is what changes everything for you. Put I'm in if you are in for this transformation, and I will drop the link for you because I realized that I did not do that yet. So again, this is the last time that you can experience this live, and I'm going to drop secret number 5, which I kind of alluded to already, is that this is the shift. When you shift your identity, that is, you get guardrails built in like concrete. Like they're not these flimsy little rope guardrails. They are there, and they are there to guide you. And that is how I have been able to transform my health, transform my daughter's health, and help literally hundreds, if not thousands now, of others on their journey as well. So this program is that bridge that's getting you from, I'm going to try something, to, nope, this is me and this is my reality now. This is my health now. And so, right, we're thinking about all this. I want you to imagine for a moment where you could be 30 days from now if you had more energy, clarity, and confidence in your body. And again, this isn't just your physical body. This is your work life. This is your family life. This is your relationship. This is your social life, your quality of life overall. And what if you had a clear step-by-step plan that actually fits your life? Because I'm a single mom. I designed this to work on no time and like, on your own kind of thing. So yes, you can, we have the live sessions. All the information is on the page. So when I send you the link, go ahead and just put I'm in, I'll send you the link, right? So you can do the live sessions, or you can watch the replays. And again, you get email accountability through the whole program. So you get little bits and pieces going, hey, this is what we're focusing on today. And hey, this is what to focus on today. And hey, let's do this exercise today. So this is broken down into simple steps to make it actionable and successful for you. Because again, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and veer off that bridge. We've put guardrails in place for you. And what if you had support from a guide who's been there? Hello, me. And a community that gets it, right? Not just me helping you, but people who hold you accountable and know that this community is here for you. If you have a challenge, if you need troubleshooting, like, we're here to support you. Because quite honestly, during these live sessions, participants have fantastic ideas that I have incorporated into each version of Wellness by Design. Because each time I get something, I go, wow, this person shared something so amazing that worked for them. I bet it's going to work for someone else. And that's why this has snowballed in value and in success. Now, your health revolution is Wellness by Design. It's that bridge between where you are now and where you want to be with your health in an effortless, successful way. And you're not crossing that bridge alone. This bridge, again, has handrails or guardrails, and you always know what your next step is, so you never feel lost or unsupported. So if you're in for this transformation, put I'm in the comments below. I will get you the link. Now, I know some of you may have questions and may have some, thoughts that you're like, well, I can't afford a health program, right? I can't afford it. And I get that. I absolutely get that. I'm a single mom starting over. I know what that can feel like. But here's also what I want you to know. What is the cost of staying stuck? Right? So when you're going to doctor's visits all the time, how much are you paying for that? Is it a copay? Do you have a high deductible plan so you're paying out of pocket, right? How much time are you losing with travel, with dragging your kids to the doctor, right? With all this stuff. What about prescriptions? How much are you paying for prescriptions if you're taking those, right? What's your copay, or does insurance even cover it? I recently just talked with someone who their provider prescribed a cream. I think it was a steroid cream for eczema that their insurance did not cover. It was $2,500 a month. Who can afford that, right? That's ridiculous. And what about supplements? Okay, so supplements, here's the thing. Many of them are ineffective. They aren't doing what you need them to do. And they have additives, preservatives, chemicals, toxins literally added into them. So you're taking something that you're thinking is actually going to help you, but it's actually increasing your toxic burden. I go into this in depth on a whole video. If you want that, go ahead and just put supplements in the comments. But I debunk the myth of supplements. Occasionally we need them. Yes, but we don't need 20. How much are you spending on supplements a month? Think about that. I know people who spend hundreds, and I'm sure there are people who spend thousands a month on these supplements that aren't even doing anything for them. Like, take a minute and really think, am I seeing a difference from this? And this can be anything from high-end supplements to the pink juice, like, I don't know, pink happy juice or whatever I see on Instagram, right? It can be any of that. Like, that's your first thing, is like, take a look and like, look at what are the actual ingredients. All right, let's start there. And then how much time and effort and money are you wasting trying diet after diet after diet, right? It's like the graveyard, like the cabinet full of supplements that you stop taking because they aren't doing anything for you. And then like the graveyard of your cabinet that has all the ingredients that you bought for all these fancy diets that aren't helping you and you don't do anything with, right? Have you been there? Okay. All of that adds up. So not to mention the time lost of your life. So I have two stories, right? One is a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and she had back pain. So she made an appointment with her doctor. That was like 2 to 3 months out. So she's living with this pain, waiting for this. She's going through, the traditional medical system. She goes to the doctor. They go, okay, here's a prescription, try this. So she's taking the pills for a while and it's kind of helping, but it's kind of not. And she's like, I'm seeing side effects. So she's waiting another like 2 months for the next appointment. She goes to see the doctor and they're like, oh, okay, the pain pills didn't help. Let's get you an MRI. Okay. So then she goes for the MRI, and I think she said the insurance company denied the MRI at first, and then by the time it got approved, it was like another couple of months. They get the MRI and like the results don't really show much. So then she goes back to the doctor and they're like, oh, okay, well, let's go to an orthopedist now. Okay. So now that's like months down the road, right? So in this, she's almost a year out of her life. She lost almost a whole year of her life. Through that process, something clicks. She goes, let me go to a holistic practitioner. She sees the holistic practitioner. They start treating her holistically. She starts seeing improvement. Guess what she doesn't need? She doesn't need that orthopedist visit. All right, this is the power of not just masking symptoms and doing Band-Aid solutions. This is the power of working with root causes. Now, at the same time, right, this is a client that I worked with recently, that same thing, she had a digestive condition. So she made an appointment with her with her doctor. And she's scheduled for this appointment 2 to 3 months down the road. We meet and she was like on the fence. She's like, I don't know. Do I do this? Do I not? And, something in her, she goes, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this holistically. But she kept that appointment. So during that time, we started working together. One, we didn't use Band-Aid solutions. We used root cause approach. So we identified her root causes. We got her the tools that she needed to succeed. We resolved the symptoms, and we got her even healthier than she was before, all by the time she would have had that first appointment that she didn't need at that point. And at that appointment, what would she have gotten? She would have gotten steroids. She would have gotten prescriptions that wouldn't have done anything for her health. Are you getting this? Are you getting how the cost of not doing this is so much more than the fraction of the cost that it is? Because this program, what I've priced it at right now, I'm not saying it live because it's going to be evergreen and I don't know what I'm going to be doing with the pricing in that hybrid model. But the cost of this program is a fraction of not doing anything and suffering through all of that. The Band-Aid solutions that don't do anything and losing time and life. Okay, literally. Now, it's also a fraction of the cost of working with me one-on-one. So that's the beauty, is in this small live group setting, you get live support from me, you get all my best resources, my best protocols, but without that price tag. And it actually gives you the tools, not just to heal for the moment, but to heal long term. Instead of just managing symptoms, you are getting to the root causes, you are getting resolution. Big difference in there. So if money is holding you back, ask yourself, right? Deeply ask yourself, what is it worth to finally feel good again? What is it worth to feel good in my body? What is it worth to get my life back? Now, people sometimes ask about insurance too. Most insurance companies, unfortunately, don't cover root cause healing programs. They cover symptom management. If you find one that will cover a root cause healing program, please let me know. Now, this approach, again, I've gone over, is so different. It is an investment in true healing, in lasting resolution of symptoms, not just temporary relief. This program teaches you how to take control of your health instead of relying on a system that doesn't prioritize true healing or prevention. Okay? This is the difference. You can use your insurance and get Band-Aid solutions, or you can use a root cause approach and join Wellness by Design and get resolution of symptoms. Which one are you choosing? Okay. Some people ask, I don't have time, right? And I hear you on that as well. As a busy single mom running a business, I know what that can be like. But at the same time, let me ask you, how much time do you lose every week feeling exhausted, sluggish, stressed, or in pain? How much of your life are you losing? This program is designed to fit seamlessly into your life, not take over your life, okay? It's structured to give you these small actionable steps so that you're healing while living your life. You can still do all the things. And again, that's why I've broken it down into these small bite-sized pieces. Now, some people may say, like, I talk about food a lot, so I don't know how to cook, right? Guess what? You don't have to be a chef to nourish your body, and you don't need to spend all day in the kitchen either. Again, single mom, limited time. I provide simple, beginner-friendly meal ideas that work even if you have a busy schedule, even if you have picky eaters. My daughter was one, and I figured out how to get food and nourishing food into her, and it will work for your kids as well. And you don't need any cooking skills, because guess what? Little confession, I still burn dinner regularly. And so yeah, like I still do that, and that's okay. We scrape off some of the burned bits, or sometimes I start over. My recommendation is to use a timer. But like, I'm not some crazy amazing chef, okay? So this system is going to work for you as well. Now, some of you think that you can't do it. I get it. This is a change, right? Lifestyle changes can feel overwhelming, but you are not alone in this. And again, that's why Wellness by Design is designed with handrails, with guardrails in place. So you are guided every step of the way. You have support, accountability, and a community to support you. Again, type I'm in the chat if you're ready to take this next step. So here's the truth. You can walk through this bridge with me step by step. I'll be holding your hand, and you can finally step into the body and life that feels good for you, where your body is your ally, where you are doing things in alignment with ease and with flow, or you can keep trying to figure it out on your own. And no matter where you are, I get it. I've been there as well. I've done things on my own for a very long time. What I will tell you is that when I started investing in my health and getting help from the right people, that's when everything changed. That's when everything exponentially changed in my life, in my health, and beyond. So if you are ready, go ahead, type I'm in again. Go ahead and I'll get you the link for that. Let me know if you have any other questions. Let me know what health concerns you have, because I have tons of resources to share with you as well. So I want you to do this for you, okay? Because ultimately, I know the difference this has made in my life, in my daughter's life. I actually can't even imagine where she'd be right now if we didn't do this. She would be a totally different child. If not, she could have been a failure to thrive, and she might not have been here right now. And I say that like seriously, because of the signs and symptoms that she had. And so I know this is an amazing program. I know this process is going to transform your health and your life in all the best ways possible. So I can't wait to see you on the inside. I will drop that link below as well. And If you only caught part of this masterclass, make sure to click the link below. I did put that one down there to register for the replay and resources. And we are here to support you and cheer you on for your health success. Wishing you guys all the best, and I will see you soon.